Hi, welcome back. I'm glad you could join me again today. Today I thought we'd do something that's a little bit different, and I really believe you're going to enjoy this one. I've taken 18 by 24 canvas, and we have it vertical, that's up and down. And on the top here, I've covered it with liquid clear, and then on the base of the canvas, I've completely covered it with liquid black and sort of blended it together. And put a little touch of Prussian blue right in here. And I think we'll take that and we'll do something that's unique, and you're going to have a good time today. Let's have them run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with me, and let's go on up here and get started. Let's start with the old 2-inch brush today. I'm going to go into a small amount of the Prussian blue, just a very small amount, because we have liquid clear on top of the canvas. It doesn't take much color, just a small amount. Let's go right up here. And then we'll just very gently begin blending a little of that in. That'll mix with the liquid clear, and it dilutes the color as you work downward. So automatically your sky gets lighter in value as you work downward. See there? Now when you're putting this liquid clear on your canvas, use it very, very little. I can't stress that enough. Probably the biggest mistake made with it is putting too much on the canvas. The canvas gets too wet, and the paint, it just sort of slips and slides. It takes very, very little. If you get you one bottle of it, it'll probably last you the rest of your life. Maybe longer. You can pass it down to your grandchildren. But see, it makes a very delicate, soft sky. If we had liquid white under there, it would dilute the color. This way, with the liquid clear, that remains transparent. You don't pick up the opaque color underneath. And it creates some very unusual and very pleasant effects. All right, let's put a happy little cloud in the sky today. Take the fan brush and we'll go into titanium white. Now the titanium white is a very opaque color, which means you can't see through it. So we'll load the brush full of paint. Let's go right up here. Decide basically where you want your little cloud to live. And let's just go in here, we'll take the corner of the brush and let's just push in a happy little cloud. Just really push it in. I want this little cloud to be very rough. It's just sort of bouncing around the sky. But you can see how it's picking up that blue that's underneath, and you get all kinds of effects. See, I want very soft little tops on this one. So just sort of scrub it in and work in layers. See, now here we'll come with another one. And you can create the illusion of depth in your clouds just by working in different layers. Like so. Like so. Maybe, I'll tell you what, let's have one right there. And in your world, you put clouds wherever you think they should be. Just let them float around and have fun. Okay, there we go. Maybe a little more there, wherever. Now get a good, clean, dry 2-inch brush, and then just very lightly, I want to just blend out the base of some of these. But very little. Don't overwork your cloud. Don't overwork it. Just rub it a little bit on the base, little circular strokes, and get away from it. Leave it alone. There. Now then, very lightly, we can fluff that up. This is 2 hairs and some air. You're just barely touching. Barely touching. And then we blend it all out. Now this will give a completely different effect than if you have the liquid white underneath. As this begins to dry a little bit, you're going to get the blue soaking through here, and it'll make very nice little edges on all these little clouds. Try it. You'll really enjoy this. Okay. And that quick, we have a happy little sky. What am I going to take? We'll use some Prussian blue and black, blue and black, or black and blue. A little bit of white. So we got blue, black, and white. I'm going to add the least little touch of alizarin crimson into that. Least little touch. If you get too much, you're going to have purple. And I don't want purple. About like that. It's a nice color. Cut across, a teeniest little roll of paint on the knife. Maybe way back here in the distance, it lives a happy little mountain. And he's far, far away. Scrape off. You can hear how hard I'm going to scrape. Hear that? Just really get in there, scrape off every bit of paint that you can get off. Every bit. The color is in the canvas. You're not going to get it all off. Now grab it with a big brush and blend it. Just blend it, blend it, blend it. Just let it sort of disappear. We'll whack the brush a couple of times, blend it. We want it to just be floating up here in the clouds, literally. It's just floating around the sky, having a good time. Soft. The lighter in value you make this, the farther away it'll look. Okay. Now then, today, shoot, let's get crazy. Let's get crazy. We're going to check out your nerves today. See if you're brave. I'm going to go right in to the titanium white. I'm going to load a tremendous amount of paint in the brush. Today the paint salesman's in town. Get your paint on the brush. Okay, let's go up here. I want a big glacier right up here. So grab all your nerve with both hands. Go right in here. Decide where it's going to live. Shoom, drop it in. Drop it in. Don't be afraid of it. Do it. We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents. And if yours doesn't come out looking exactly like this, that means it's better. It's better. There. See? Just lay it in. Like so. And don't try to just copy. We're really trying to teach you a technique here and turn you loose on the world. I know that don't look like a glacier yet, but I hope in a minute it does. To begin creating the lay of the land here, or the lay of the glacier as a point may be. Maybe it comes around something like so. I don't know. We'll decide that later. We can just have all kinds of things happening in here. Okay. Now I'm going to go touch a little bit of the blue, and I'm going to pull in this direction with a little blue. Just a tiniest little bit of blue. Tiniest little bit of blue. See? And it creates sort of a shadowy effect. Now don't go crazy. This Prussian blue is, oh my gosh, it's strong. One tube in the Atlantic Ocean would absolutely change the color of the whole ocean. It's that strong. Okay, now comes the fun. Now comes the fun. Let's take mostly black. Midnight black. You can put a little touch of blue in it if you want. A little touch of Van Dyke brown in it if you want, but mostly black. Get our little roll of paint right out on the edge of the knife as usual. There it is. Now then, let's make some big decisions. Right in here, we'll put some dark color. See there? Right against that light. Boy, that stands out. Maybe right along in here lives. There's a bump, and it comes right on down. We are going to make one awesome mountain. Big too. Maybe right along here we can just fill all this in. See how easy that is? And we have a beautiful big glacier laying right up on top of that mountain. Looks like a lot of the mountains in my home in Alaska. There we go. Just lay all that color in there. Okay. Like so. Now down in here I'm going to use some titanium white, Prussian blue, and some black. I'm making a bluish color, about like so. Cut off that little roll of paint again. And I'm going to begin fading this out. I want it to get more into the bluish color down here. Pushing very hard. Right now I'm just trying to push that color right into the fabric. Right into the fabric. Like so. There we go. Okay. I'm going to change to the small knife. It works better in these little bitty places. Okay. Here I'm taking some Prussian blue and white, and once again, even with a small knife, we get that same little roll of paint. Let's go up here. Now I want to show a thickness. So there's a shadow right here. See? So you create a little shadow, but just adding a touch of blue, and it makes it thick. And we don't want that to be too straight, so we can just take the knife and in here and just tap in all kinds of little ridges and bumps, still following the basic lay of the land. See, all down in here we'll have some. Here they go across, wherever you want them to go. It's up to you. It's up to you. Up to you. This is your mountain, so you do whatever you want. Then we can put a few little highlights here and there. Just there. A few little highlights. Okay, keep this quite dark though. You don't want to lose that beautiful dark value that you have here. If it gets too light, just scrape it off. Put you some dark right back in there. See, this is the way you separate them right here. Bring them all apart. Put all those little things in there, individual things. And let that come right on down to wherever. Okay, let me find a clean brush here. Down here, I'm just going to tap this. I want to create the illusion of mist here. Just tap it. And then lift gently upward. Now see, that brings all those together. There we go. Follow the angles in your mountain though. There. Like so. Okay, and you can beat the brush here once in a while, take a loose paint out of it, and do like so. Now, let's go back to our black and blue and brown, mostly black still. Once again, our little roll of paint. Every time I load the knife, nearly, I load that little roll of paint. Now then, let's go right up in here, and maybe there's a happy little bump, big rock, big stone, and he lives right there. See, in your world, you decide how many rocks and bumps and stones live in here and put them in. You can have as many or as few as you want. There. Just drop them rascals right in there. And that helps also build that illusion of depth once again. A little bit of the dark blue and white, so we can indicate a shadow or two on there, and I'm just barely touching. And this is where you would separate the different stones. See how you can pull them apart? There we go. Just let that come right on down. Like so. And you can make as many or as few bumps as you want. Now I'm going to take a fan brush, and I'm going to dip it into the liquid clear. And I want to make a paint that's quite thin here. Quite thin. A little bit of blue into that. Not much, just a touch. Just a touch. And I'm going to reach right in here and grab this and just pull, bring snow right up to the base. Right up to the base. See? See how you can just bring that snow right up there in it? And then just blend it out. And then with a fan brush you can smooth all this out. Now, with the liquid clear in there, this will slide right over the top of that white without destroying, and you can put all kinds of happy little things in there. Just basically wherever you want them, you can drop them in, because this is your mountain. Now then, right here, I want to come right back in here. Maybe we'll have this, look at there. Maybe it comes right around wherever. Now this, in my mind, would be in a little more shadow, so I want it to pick up some of that undercolor, so I'm really pushing hard here. Really pushing hard. I want to grab that and bring it all together. Then we can take the old knife and just reach up in here. Put a few little things here and there. Have a few little doers that come right down, just to break up the monotony. Fan brush with a little liquid clear and white, and you can add highlights wherever you want them. You can also take, and maybe there's little bumps, maybe there's rocks under the ground that are covered with snow, but you can indicate those just by doing that, like so. Okay, well, that was super. Let's have some fun now. Maybe there's some trees and stuff in here. Maybe. I'll just use a brush. It has a little touch of blue left on it. I'll get some sap green and some yellow ochre. Tap. I don't want a great deal of paint on the brush. Just a little right now. We're gonna go right up here. And maybe back in here, there it is. You knew it was there all the time. Back in here is just maybe a little grassy field that lives right in there. And all I'm doing is tapping. The big thing to remember here is to follow the lay of the land. You have to make a big decision here. How does the land flow? The angles in the ground. That's your responsibility at this point, to make that big decision. When you have this kind of power and can create mountains and trees, and you have to make those kind of decisions, and you can. You can. Okay, tell you what let's do now. Let's put a happy little tree or two in here. So let's go the old fan brush. Go right into this dark color. This is the same old dark color that we made the mountain out of. Load that fan brush full of paint. A lot of paint. See there? Okay, let's go right up here. Now we have to make some decisions. I want some little evergreen trees, and you have to decide where they live. Maybe right there's a happy little evergreen. See, just let him drop right out of your brush. Like so. And there's some indications here. I don't want to kill all this. I want to let some of it show through so you can see behind this group of little trees. See, there. And we'll let that come right on down. Here's a nice one. That's a big one. Big, strong evergreen. Just use the corner of the brush pushing downward. As you work down the tree, push harder and harder, firmer and firmer. And just push that little rascal right out of your brush. There we go, just like so. Isn't that fantastic? You can make a whole group of little trees that easy. You can. Okay, maybe this one here. Let's turn him into a little bigger, stronger, tougher tree. But you can still see some of that green through there. Makes the painting much more interesting, and there. And you'll like it better when it's done by having these little things in there. Maybe here's a little baby tree right there. Okay, let me go back and get the old 2-inch brush, tap it right into the green, yellow ochre, Indian yellow. And all we're doing is tapping. Just tap the brush. Okay, let's go right up here. Now, I want to continue with this. Bring it right on across. Now the more you tap this, the softer it'll get. You can tap it till it just, it looks just like velvet. And let's begin bringing this over. Make it curve. See, create the lay of the land here with your brush. And if you really want to have some fun, watch here. Let's have some. I'm going to take a little touch of the Van Dyke brown, follow that same angle, just follow it. Just follow it. Then we'll take a little touch of the dark sienna, a little Van Dyke brown, a touch of white, and just let it skin across the top. Just barely touch it. Barely touch it. See that? Like that. Now, back to our brush with the greens in it, and bring it right over. See? Like there's big grassy things hanging over, and you can see some little stones and rocks projecting through there. That's sneaky, and it's so pretty. This is what'll sell your painting or make people just really happy with it. Let's have some more fun. Let me grab a fan brush. I'm going to go into some liquid white and right into titanium white. Now you remember at the beginning of the show, I mentioned to you that right down here, I'd put a little bit of Prussian blue right on top of the liquid black. Now watch what happens. Let's say there's a happy little waterfall, and it comes from right down here, comes right over, and goes just like so. Over. Now if you push real hard, it's going to pick up that blue that's underneath and give that sort of a bluish tint. And it hits right about there. See? Corner of the brush, push upward, make all these little splashes. Boy, that's just churning and splashing. There's some foam lives down here. And then it begins pulling out through here. See how that blue's picking up? Oh, that's sneaky, huh? I thought you'd like that. Okay, now then back to my knife. Grab some more of that Van Dyke brown. Now I'm going to close this side of the little waterfall in. Go push it right back there. Come right down. Maybe there's some more rocks over here. Like so. You have to make these decisions. Wherever this lives in your world, that's where you put it. Once again, same highlight color, and you just barely let it touch. Just barely let it graze. Least little amount of pressure. No pressure. Absolutely no pressure. Back to our brush. And watch here. See there? Now, because we're getting quite a buildup of paint on there, I add a little thinner to the paint. Now see, it sticks better. It comes right off the brush, much easier. So if you have trouble making your paint stick, add a little touch of paint thinner. See how you can follow right down there? But when you're adding this thinner, add very little. Very little. And then we can just bring this right on around. Looks like big grassy ferns and all those things that live around where there's a waterfall, because it's very humid here. A waterfall that high, there would be a tremendous amount of humidity. So you'd have all the almost tropical things probably growing here. See, look at all that. See how simple? And you can do it. You really can do it. Okay. Tell you what, over here, let's go to this side. Maybe right here, right here. Yep. Here's another little thing that comes down. Let me grab my knife. Let's put some stones over on this side. Maybe this one comes down and there. You gotta make these big decisions. Maybe this stone comes down right there. Wherever you want it. Wherever you want it. Same thing. Put a little highlight on that stone. Shoot, who knows? Maybe, let's get crazy. Maybe there's another stone there. Maybe there's, yep, in my world, I see a stone right there. There's just stones everywhere in this painting, maybe on out here. You make a big decision, drop it in, and go. Just go with it. Just go with it. All right, and then back to our color on the brush, and we can begin tapping in all these things and just follow these angles. Follow them right on down. Just wherever you think there should be land, that's where it ought to be. Wherever. Sap green, cad yellow, yellow ochre, Indian yellow. Just vary these colors so they look good to you. You can make all these soft little hills. You can have color just falling right over. So it looks just like all these little grassy things here. Just see them? Just working right over like that. As many or as few as you want in your world. And by brightening them, you can change the plane. See, now that one stands out, very distinct, like so. One of the questions that I hear over and over and over is, what do we do with all these paintings that we do on television? Most of these paintings are donated to PBS stations across the country. They auction them off and they make a happy buck with them. So if you'd like to have one, get in touch with your PBS station. Because we do. We give them to stations all over the country to help them out with their fundraisers. Little waterfall right there. See how that just came right over? Maybe right here. Comes over like that. Just right on around, wherever you want it to go. Little splashes here. Let it just wander right on out. You could get crazy. You could even put, maybe there's some little grassy things growing out here on that rock too. Who knows? Who knows? Let's have another rock. Maybe there's a nice stone that lives right here in front of this. See there? You can just make layer after layer after layer of these. We don't want that one to do without, so we'll a little bit of thinner on my brush, and we can come right along here. Look at that. Put some nice little grassy things hanging all down on this rock. That easy. That easy. Little liquid white, titanium white. Then we can come right in here, clean up all this bottom here, make it look like the water's flowing right on out. We don't know where this goes. It just goes on out of the painting somewhere. Tell you what, let's do. Going back into my brush with a dark color on it. And in my world, I want an evergreen. Lives right here on this hill. So all you have to do, take some dark color and drop him in. See there? And he lives up here on the hill and he watches this waterfall down here. He's got a friend named Clyde. There's old Clyde. Right there. Take your knife, scratch in a little tree trunk here and there, a few little sticks and twigs, and you have a completed painting. I really hope you've enjoyed this one. It's a little different using the liquid clear and the liquid black. Try it. You will have fun. From all of us here, happy painting. God bless. See you next time.